Hello, today we are going to talk a little bit about how to set up your office chair. This series is specifically geared up towards people who are working from home, but this advice will also work if you are in an office space, essentially wherever you have a office chair. First thing first, you want to make sure that your feet are flat on the ground. So we're going to just ensure that that'll be the case. If your feet are not, then lower your chair down to make sure that your feet are flat on the ground. The next step, beg your pardon, is to raise your chair up a little bit to make sure that your hips are just above your knees. I'm going to do that now. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. When your hips are above your knees, it's going to help with your posture. You're going to be sitting in a taller posture, which will be better for your back, shoulders, neck, and so forth. Next thing, make sure that you have no more than about hand's width between the knee and your seat cushion. If you do have an adjustable seat cushion, you can adjust the depth of that. I do on this chair. If you don't, then it's no big deal. We can have a little talk about how to make your chair a little bit shallower in 2 ticks, okay? Now, for me, that's absolutely fine, okay? Hands width, but no more than that, all right? Some people like to have it a little bit deeper, but again, hands width seems to be a good rule of thumb. So, that's your cushion, and that's your feet, and that's your hips above your knee. Next thing, your back, all right? The key point for your posture is what we call the lumbar lordosis, or the curvature of your lower back, where your lower back has almost like a C-shaped curvature, if you like. And you want your lower back support to be there, all right? If you have support there, it's going to make you sit up taller immediately. So let's make sure that my chair has the back support in the right place. I have actually adjusted this already a little bit, so it does actually work with me. Let's have a quick look. So lower back support should be in here, in the center of your lower back. That's actually a good point. If you're not entirely sure how to find it, forearm in your back like so. That's where you want your support. I'm going to put this a little bit higher. Like so, and that's the back support in the right position. If you do have a inflatable lumbar support, then you can pump that up to make sure that that feels about right. If you don't, you can use a cushion. Pop a cushion and a small of your back, we'll get that in 2 ticks. Next thing, make sure that the angle of your backrest is set up so that you don't sitting too far forward and not too far backwards. The more upright you are, like so, without actually using your backrest, the more muscle action you're going to have to use in your spine. So you tend to fatigue the back muscles as the day goes on, and people tend to end up with backaches and shoulder aches and so forth because of it. So the ideal thing is for the angle of your backrest to be slightly reclined. So I have a back tilt, here we go, like so. That's about right. So you're looking at the angle of your thigh and your trunk to be around about 100, 105 degrees. Some people like to be a little bit more upright, some people like to be a little bit more reclined. As long as you're slightly reclined, that's good, because right now I'm leaning back in my backrest and I'm able to relax my muscles in my back, whilst also sitting in a good posture. If you have a headrest on your chair, make sure that that headrest is not pushing you too far forward, but that is actually sitting comfortably like so. Now the headrest, only use it when you're on the break. You don't have to use it, well, normally, certainly, for most people, you don't have to use it whilst working. It's going to be more in the way. It's more if you're having a little chill and want to take a break. Now, armrests. You'll make sure that your armrests do not compromise your access to underneath your desk. So, bring your armrest out of the way if you can. If you don't really need your armrests, take them off your chair. There tend to be a screw of some sort or a bolt underneath the chair, or you can just take your armrests away. Most of the times, armrests, particularly static ones, are just in the way for getting underneath your desk. So right now I'm able to get nice and close to my desk without the armrest impeding. Okay, now finally we want to make sure that your chair is set up in such a way in height, so we're going to go full circle to make sure that you're sitting in a good typing posture. You want your forearms to be parallel to the desk that you're working at. So as you can see now, my elbows are too low, which means that I have to raise my chair a bit. So I'm going to lift that up a bit, like so. Let's see if that made a difference. Better. I'm going to take them up a little bit more. And here we go. My arms are now parallel to my desk, plus I'm also able to relax my arms down. And this is ideal. When you're relaxing your arms down on the desk to type away and use your mouse, it means that you're also able to relax your shoulders back. And that feels perfectly comfortable for me. Final tip, if you have now raised your chair and your feet are dangling off the ground, use a cushion. A simple sofa cushion, like so. Pop that down here and you can put your feet on there. I don't need it, as you can see. However, if you do, then just use a cushion. Oh, and finally, if you don't have a lower back support, like an inflatable lumbar support, use a cushion. So bring out a sofa cushion and you can just put that in the small of your back. This is also ideal if you find that your chair is a bit too deep for you. So if you find that your cushion of your chair is digging into your knees, then putting a cushion behind your back will essentially shift your backside forward on the cushion. All right. Now I don't need that, but if you do, then it's a perfectly acceptable a little sort of method to make sure that you're sitting in a good posture. All right. However, as I said, I don't need these cushions because I'm sitting in a very good posture. Well, I hope you agree. Right now as it is. So that feels really comfortable, and that is my office chair set up to fit with my stature and with my working. Alright, so I hope you found that video useful. Subscribe if you liked it, or leave some comments if you have any questions, or if you'd like to leave some feedback to us. And that's pretty much it. Until next time, goodbye.